Hey everyone, welcome to Gastromania. If you're new, I upload 2 recipes a week to help you on your cooking journey. This week, I'll be presenting Bulgogi Chicken, a Korean dish. Korean food is getting increasingly popular due to the K-wave. This dish is sweet and savory with a hint of spiciness, which will definitely fit the palates of most people. Without further ado, let's get right in. For this dish, I prefer using chicken thigh meat as they remain more tender when cooked over high heat. Chicken breast is fine, but the meat may get too dry during the cooking process. You may choose to add an egg white and cornstarch during the marinating process to improve its texture, but there's no need if you're using chicken thigh. For the side ingredients, we only need half an Asian pear, 1 thumb-sized ginger, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 yellow onion, and a suitable amount of spring onions. You may vary the amount of spring onions according to your preference. For seasonings, we need 1 tablespoon soy sauce, sugar to taste, 4 to 5 tablespoons of Gochujang or Korean red pepper paste, 0.5 tablespoons of sesame oil, ground black pepper, and some white sesame seeds for garnishing. That's all to the ingredients. Let's start with chopping up some vegetables. Chop off the tip and root of the yellow onions and peel the skin off. You can make an incision on the skin of the yellow onion to facilitate the process. Once the skin is off, slice them up thinly. One tip for doing this is to cut them into halves so that you have a white base for the onions to sit on, and then you slice them really quickly. The onion slices should look something like that. Next, mince the ginger. You do so by cutting them into ginger slices. Lay them up nicely and cut away. Once they have been cut into strips, turn them 90 degrees. Repeat the cutting process and get the ginger mince. I had store-bought minced garlic, so I do not have to do this for the garlic. Let me know if you would like to know how to mince garlic quickly in the comments below. I'm thinking of starting a mini-series with basic kitchen how-tos. Next, for the spring onions, roughly chop them into sections roughly 4 cm long. The amount of spring onions to use purely depends on your preference. Cut the Asian pear into suitable sizes for grating later on. Remove the seeds to facilitate the grating process. You may do so by performing 2 quick incisions on the 2 sides of the pear slice. Lastly, remove the skin of the chicken thigh. This step is purely optional, and I'm doing this to make this dish a little bit healthier. After removing the chicken thigh, cut them up into bite-sized strips or cubes depending on your preference. Did you notice that I'm using a new chopping board? Yep, my videos are not so green anymore. Stay tuned as my knife is gonna arrive soon. Hopefully I can make more professional videos with all these upgrades. After chopping, prepare the marinade. The marinade is the heart and soul of this dish. It is both the marinade and the sauce later on. Mix up all the seasoning into one mixing bowl. Notice that this sauce looks a little dry after mixing. This is where our secret ingredient, the Asian pear, comes in. The Asian pear is commonly used in Korean cooking, which provides natural and refreshing sweetness to their dishes. Other than providing natural sweetness, the Asian pear also contains protease, an enzyme that is able to break down proteins in meats into amino acids, tenderizing it and speeding up the marinating process. When added, the Asian pear reduces the time from marinating the chicken, so even 30 minutes of marinating will be sufficient for the meat to be tasty. If you think my videos have been helpful so far, I ask for your support by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my videos. Stay tuned to my 2 recipes coming up quickly. Mix everything well, Add half of the yellow onions and all of the spring onions into the cut chicken thigh. Add the prepared marinade and mix well. Ensure that every piece of chicken is covered with the marinade. Ah, the red color of the sauce looks so amazing on the meat. The smell of the garlic, onions and gochujang is so appetizing. I can't wait to eat this. Seal the mixing bowl with a cling wrap and let it sit in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. I'm gonna leave it in the fridge for about 2 hours, so it's definitely gonna be well marinated later on. Remove the chicken slightly before cooking to allow temperature to rise back up to room temperature. Start by toasting some sesame seeds without any oil added. Once the sesame seeds brown and the oil can be seen on the seeds' surface, off the heat and set the sesame seeds aside for later use. Next, heat up some vegetable oil and start frying the remaining yellow onions. Fry it until it gets brown and start to caramelize. Do not over fry it as we still have a long way to cook it, otherwise it may get overly soggy. This is a little bit controversial, but I actually like soggy onions as it is fully caramelized and the flavor is all in the dish. Not sure about you, but share with me your thoughts about onions in the comments below. Once the onions have browned, add the chicken in and spread it out quickly with a spatula. The stir frying process will take about 8 minutes in total. At around 4 minutes into the stir frying, you can taste the sauce and adjust the sauce accordingly. Wow, this sauce is really sweet from the Asian pear, even though I only added 2 slices instead of the 3 I cut just now. Time to balance it out with some umami from the light soy sauce. Give the seasoning a good mix and continue stir frying. Perfect. We're aiming for the sauce to dry up and coat each piece of chicken nicely, which will take about 8 minutes approximately. And this dish is done. Sprinkle the toasted sesame seed and some of the spring onions for garnish. This dish is really simple and doesn't take much effort to even prepare. It's the perfect dish for busy students and working adults like you and me to prepare in the midst of the hustle and bustle of life. Definitely a worthy dish to add to your repertoire in the kitchen. Thank you for staying to the end of today's episode. If you would like more Korean recipes, let me know in the comments below. If you found our video helpful, remember to subscribe and stay tuned to our 2 recipes uploaded weekly. And I'll catch you in the next video.